The City of Melbourne initiated these waste management programs to reduce the amount of waste going to landfill, to improve recycling and to make the city amenity better. We are doing that by working in partnership with residents and businesses and getting them to come along with us on what is really a change management journey.
The Compactors in Laneways and Recycling Hub project is an initiative that the City of Melbourne is taking. Our main focus is amenity issues that go on with bins in public spaces, and that includes everything from dump rubbish, leaking, smelling, overflowing bins. The compactors are a way that businesses and residents can dispose of their garbage and their recycling. Rather than each having their own individual bins stored outside, it's just one central hub, one central place.
The recycling hubs are very important to a business like ours. For us, as we are quite a small business, a small wine bar, we had issues with storage of rubbish, and this has actually completely solved that issue, no questions asked.
Before the recycling, it was not the best, shall we say.
Well, this initiative had its birth, if you like, in a council policy where we were required to put in place a waste action plan for council. One of those actions was to look at ways that we could reduce waste to landfill, improve levels of recycling, and as a spin-off, ideally, to work with the community in getting those objectives.
The council's role was basically to get all the businesses in the area to come on board.
We train our staff to separate leftover scraps. Plastics go into non-recyclables with glass is separated.
The area is home to a lot of cafes and restaurants, and they obviously generate a lot of food waste. We want to work with those cafes to get that food waste out of landfill, and we process that food waste on site. It's then used as a fertiliser for our parks and gardens.
The education has been enormous, like people think about waste now.
We're really excited that so many people have got on board with this project, from funding from the Metropolitan Waste Management Group's Metro Fund to Ross House Association, obviously, for allowing us to be here, and the businesses for getting on board.
The people who come to the graves actually don't think it's okay not to recycle. When they find out someone is not doing the recycling, it wasn't right. So now we're doing it.
So City of Melbourne's highrise recycling project was introduced a couple of years ago as a means of capturing more recyclables from high-rise residential apartments to decrease the contamination of that recycling and to educate residents about how to use their waste and recycling systems.
From the old system, we had where people were dumping all rubbish in the recycling bins. We would find plastic bags, things that you couldn't recycle.
So we're working with building managers and cleaners to make their job easier. We're increasing the collection frequency and introduce bigger recycling bins to increase the capacity. So the reduction of bin numbers is making it easier for them to put the bins out for collection. It's also saving our trucks time on the pickups.
Charity bins have been absolutely well and truly taken up by the residents. We also have recycling tubs that we put into the apartments.
Something else we've achieved is a reduction in contamination of the recycling stream. We're at a point now where most people understand recyclable materials.
I think it's important to have a program like this with the amount of high-rise buildings that are being developed here in Melbourne. It's a great initiative, and from my point of view as a building manager, it has helped me out absolutely fantastically.
The Love Your Laneways program helped firstly put in the worm farms that are in Stevenson Lane, which then creates the closed circuit to the garden beds. It helps feed our kitchen, which then goes into our food, into our cocktails, then goes back out into the worm farms and then back into the plants that are behind us.
With the introduction of recycle bins, all the cans from the restaurant, the bottles, cardboard, plastics, that kind of nature, instead of going to hard waste, is being recycled, and that's a big plus for all of us.
We're creating friendships and relationships, partnerships with business owners in the lane, and it's produced some fantastic and positive results. The more you explore, the more you discover, and it's a real beautiful thing about Melbourne. Melbourne is its laneways.